It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Wednesday, the 2nd of October. I'm Michael Groff. This relentless and remarkable heat wave will continue. Today should mark the 9th consecutive day where we break a high temperature record in Phoenix, and we see no sign of that streak coming to an end anytime soon. Maybe by the time we get toward the middle part of next week, temperatures will back off a bit, but they'll still be far above seasonal averages and not far from records. So, who knows when we'll actually get some relief? Yes, we did have a few showers around yesterday. Some of you even saw some raindrops over in Scottsdale, Mesa, Gilbert. But that's going to be about it. We don't anticipate any rain chances anytime soon after that. All right, let's dive in and talk about it, see if we can find some answers to those questions about some relief, some cooler temperatures. Yeah. Before we do, though, let's check it out. Monsoon 2024 wrapped up on the 30th of September. We have those final stats for you, and overall, it was the 7th driest monsoon here in Phoenix. 0.74 of an inch of rain officially at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. And it was also, of course, the hottest monsoon season on record from June 15th through September the 30th. Remember, June was the hottest June on record. July, the second hottest July on record. August was the third hottest on record. September, the hottest September on record. So there you go. You figure it all out. And again, just the hottest summer, and blew out the old record by a good margin there. So that is our monsoon season. Now, we kicked off the month of October in grand fashion as well. And actually on this almanac page, I should have put this in gold color because we established a new all-time record for the month of October with a high temperature of, believe it or not, 113 degrees. 113 degrees on the 1st of October. Unbelievable. And again, that is a new all-time record. It has never been that hot on record here in Phoenix. The previous all-time October record, 107 degrees, set in 2020. And the low temperature, 84, that was a record warm low temperature. 95 and 72 are the averages for this time of year. And so let's look at it here. That's 129 days now this year with a high temperature at or above 167 days with a high at or above 110. As we just keep adding on to those impressive numbers. Looking outside right now here at 1 o'clock, sunny sky, 106 degrees at Sky Harbor, and it is just dry as a bone out there. 28's the dew point. Humidity 6%, wind light, barometer falling. Checking the satellite across the southwest. Nothing to see here, folks. It is quiet. We hardly see so much as a cloud in the sky across the state. And we expect that to be the case with high pressure in control. Our upper low that brought the unsettled weather yesterday, that's out of here. The watch warning map, we've got red flag warnings, high fire danger for parts of the eastern Rockies and out into the Plain States. Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska. North of the state, yes, the mountains. Very dry conditions, above average temperatures, low humidity, breezy to windy conditions. That all sets the stage for the possibility of wildfires. Now for us, it's an excessive heat warning that's in effect, and that's through 8 p.m. on Friday here in Phoenix. And that not only encompasses us here in Maricopa County, but as well as parts of southwest, west central Arizona, and up into portions of the Mojave Desert as well. Convective outlook for today. No organized severe weather across the nation. Hardly any thunder to be found just across the Florida Peninsula. And that'll pretty much be it for today. The tropics and the Atlantic, some interesting stuff happening out here. We've got a hurricane on the board. We've got a new tropical depression, number 13. And a potential area of disturbed weather that could develop out there toward the Western Caribbean and move up into the Gulf of Mexico. All right, let's talk about Kirk. That's our hurricane, and this is slated to become a major hurricane, but it is gaining latitude, curving off toward the northwest, eventually the north, and this is going to be out to sea, harmless, not impacting anyone. So nothing to worry about here. Tropical depression number 13. This too could become a hurricane, but it will also gain latitude, or at least that's what it appears right now, and should remain a fish storm, not affecting anyone. Out in the Western Caribbean, we'll watch and toward the Gulf of Mexico, we'll watch for the potential of tropical storm formation out there over the next 7 days. The National Hurricane Center giving that about a 40% chance to occur. All right, closer to home, the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, basically nothing. Region-wide, nothing. Across most of the western United States, nothing. The exception of the Pacific Northwest, right along the coast there, maybe Seattle down to Portland could see some rain, but that's going to be about it. Boy, it is just dry as the main storm track stays far away. High pressure stays in control. And, these heat waves, they become self-feeding after a while. High pressure sits right on top of us. The sun heats the ground, and the ground being as dry as it is, low soil moisture, that heats the air still very efficiently despite the lower sun angle. And with extremely dry air, it'll heat up very nicely. And these things, they kind of are self-perpetuating because that heat drives high pressure to stay in control. More rising air, more warmth through the atmosphere, and more warmth means high pressure builds a little stronger, and that high pressure is more sinking air, more warmth, and the cycle continues. And it's going to take something big to come along and break that up, I'm afraid. Will anything happen? Well, let's find out as we look into the futures, see what may happen. Here we go. The models, the GFS, this is the 12Z run, and it's valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. High pressure remains in control here across the southwest. Upper heights way above average. What it means for us down on the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny, hot. Highs 105 to 109. Tonight, clear sky, overnight lows 70s to about 80. And then tomorrow, sunny, hot, 105 to 109. On Friday, highs may be close to 110. And again, each of these days is establishing a record, okay? The record high for today is 107. We're going to break that. The record high for tomorrow, I believe, is 105, and we're going to break that. We're going to break records all the way through the rest of the week this weekend. Just no end in sight for that. Here's Saturday. Highs again somewhere. Really, our forecast, we kind of vary it by a degree or two based on a small change in upper heights, but realistically, we could hit 110 on any one of these days. Highs maybe 105 to 109 here, maybe 110 on Sunday, whatever the case. Whether it's 107, 108, 109, or 110, it's just going to be very hot and very dry, and nothing to really change that. Some afternoon breezes, we will have those, but that's going to be about the only sensible weather that we have through the period. Now, as we get to Monday and going into next week, temperatures might drop a degree or two. We could be around 104 to 108 on Monday, maybe a little cooler on Tuesday, and maybe a little cooler on Wednesday, a week from today. This is the 9th of October, but high pressure remains the dominant feature. And so I suspect high temperatures would still be around 105 plus if this verifies. And again, that would still be good enough for a record. Troughing is developing and deepening out there over the Northeast Pacific, and that could displace this ridge eventually, but for now, it just means an amplified pattern. Look at this blocking pattern. This is why things aren't changing, and we have questions about these blocking patterns, and why are they so slow to break down? Well, the reason is, as a pattern happens like this, when you get these really strong ridges, and you get, like I just was mentioning, this heat that just builds and builds and builds underneath them, it sort of becomes a self-perpetuating thing where it takes more energy to displace that ridge. And what winds up happening is the ridge does get flattened out a bit, but the main energy, the dynamics from these troughs, it still stays north. The ridge helps to deflect that just to the north of us for the most part. So that's why we just can't seem to break this down. And this is looking like the old classic Omega block that we have in place as we go into the middle part of next week with a very strong ridge over the nation's midsection and a trough over the Northeast and Eastern Canada, trough over the Northeast Pacific. So we're stuck with hot conditions. Going out 10 days. This is Friday, the 11th. And we do see this weak little low the GFS tries to bring in down the west coast, kind of sneaking it under this ridge and maybe a real weak little trough coming in, and that could dampen the ridge out a little bit and lower temperatures a few degrees, maybe toward 100. But that's about as cool as it's going to get over the next 10 days if current model trends verify. Now, there have been some signs of tropical moisture coming up here, and I know on social media yesterday there were some people showing. Remember that tropical cyclone I showed you on one of the deterministic models yesterday? Well, some people were running with that and taking it out 360 hours and showing that tropical cyclone coming up into Arizona. That is not going to happen, or at least it does not appear that any tropical cyclone will be coming up into Arizona, okay? That is a scenario that right now is not on the table. None of the models are showing that. I know. I wish that were true, but that's just not the case. And people that show you those kind of models and people that try to hype that up, that's just, it's a bunch of junk, okay? But we will say for now is a persistence forecast seems to be the way to go here, with temperatures remaining way above average and challenging records for the next 10 days. We just don't see any real signs that this heat wave is going to break. Again, a small downtrend in temperatures later next week does appear likely, but not a significant drop in temperatures. I suppose a 10-degree drop is significant, but when you're talking about highs still around 100, which would at that point be about 10 degrees above average, well, does it matter? I mean, it's still hot. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this is off the GFS ensemble. Now, this goes out through the 16th of October. The mean remains under 1/10 of an inch. The control member is just over 1/10 of an inch, and there's quite a few members that still show nothing. European ensemble remains very, very dry for the next 2 weeks. Temperatures off the national blend of models, not a single day depicted to be under 100. Now, those overnight lows, yeah, in the mid-city, they're going to drop a little bit, maybe into the mid and upper 70s at some point, but which means the cooler pockets may be down around 70. But afternoon highs, again, yeah, they're going to remain way above average for the foreseeable future. So this has just been, I don't have any words for it. I would have never, how could anyone have expected to see this coming? We knew temperatures were going to be above average this fall, but we had no idea they were going to be like this. My goodness. And for those of you that say, oh, this is just a Phoenix thing, it's just an urban heat island thing, I see that on social media a lot. Every climate reporting site in the southwestern United States over the summer and for the month of September, every single climate reporting site had either its hottest summer or its top 8 hottest summers. Every single climate reporting site. So this is not just an urban heat island thing. Okay, this just has to do with the Southwest had an absolutely insane summer, following last year, which was an absolutely insane summer, which followed 2020, which was an absolutely insane summer. So, 3 of our 5 hottest summers that have ever happened on record in Phoenix have occurred in the last 5 years. Actually, realistically, 4 of the last 6 summers have been among the hottest on record. So, breaking those records left and right. My goodness. All right. Are we going to have, people are asking me, Mike, are we going to have 100 in November? Look, I'm not even going to try, and I will not say no at this point. I would have said no if you would have asked me this just a couple months ago. I'd say, oh, of course not. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'm not putting anything past what's going on with this wacky weather we've had this year. Maybe by December we'll be down into the 90s. All right. That's a little bit of hyperbole. We should be plenty nice by the time we get to December. I sure hope. Otherwise, I'm moving and you guys can deal with it. That's it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. Yes, we'll go back to doing the Fairbanks, Alaska weather discussions. Much nicer weather. Anyway, that's it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, or make those monetary contributions to us via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com. That's the PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal. And the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of that same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out her videos and all Michelle-related stuff linked up down in the description, as well as I'm encouraging you to check out our streaming station, which is available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. And again, you can check that out by going down into the description where it is linked up. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Have yourselves a tremendous rest of your Wednesday.